What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Walkcast. Filmed in front of a live studio audience of whoever I walk past. Yeah, that was a bar. Today, I wanted to talk about I was waiting for the bus, and I saw the baseball players. I think I've talked about baseball in one of my other episodes, but I just noticed they wear like skinny jeans, which seems really unoptimal for athletic activity of any kind, because you can't really move around in those. I mean, they go to catch the ball and they're running like a Barbie doll that can't move their legs. And, that's just silly. Because, I feel like every single other sport out there, they wear shorts, they wear something like that. I mean, football, they kind of wear some tight pants. And cricket, I guess. But first of all, who plays cricket? And second of all, cricket is just baseball. Be real. Well, I think cricket predates baseball, probably. Anyway, it's silly, because, you can't put them in anything else. Why do we need pants? It's not like it's helping you in any manner. It just makes it worse, really. And it's probably, hot, too. This dude is giving a freaking performance on the side of the road right now. I also want to talk about I had an Alani today, the energy drink. And on the label it says vegan. And what kind of animal product are you putting in a damn energy drink? What, you crack an egg in there? And now it's a protein shake too? Seriously, how do you fit anything animal related into the fucking caffeine water? Alani's my favorite energy drink, probably, because it's the only one that doesn't taste like piss. All of the other ones have that, stinging battery acid flavor to it. But they managed to mask that up. It's from anything with caffeine. Coffee. I mean, even a Mountain Dew, which they have a lot of caffeine in them for a regular soda. In Britain, they're actually qualified as energy drinks, classified. But it has that piss flavor, that sting. That was about all I had to talk about today. So we're gonna have to start thinking of things kind of off the dome. Oh, I know. Musical instruments. How did we come up with that? I feel like probably the first instrument we could come up with would be a drum or something. Because, you're just banging a thing. But, music in the first place is why do we need that? Why do we come up with that? Ooh. There was a fucking sealed container of some sauce from KFC on the ground. But seriously, what was the purpose of music? Usually it's work chants or whatever. I don't know, to rally the troops, I guess. But we just started banging shit with a stick and said, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. And I don't even know how you can evolve from literally just banging on a thing to something like a guitar, or how do you come up with let's just stick a bunch of strings on a big old piece of wood and just stretch them out real far, and then that'll make sounds. Or a clarinet, whatever. I have no idea how those work. It vibrates the air, but how do you get from essentially blowing a raspberry into a hole. How does that come out with trumpet sounds? And then you figure out how to like press buttons on it and it makes different sounds. That's kind of crazy. Electricity. I feel like I might have talked about that in another one. But I mean, it's magic. It's magic. You can't lie to me on that one. Cause like, how does burning a bunch of coal, or like, I don't even know how nuclear reactors work, but they have, I don't know, uranium or whatever, and just a big old pipe, big old smokestack is what it's called, I guess. Or is that at coal plants? I don't know, but they burn it, and somehow that turns into electricity, which isn't really a physical thing, so that kind of makes it a lot more confusing. And then it travels through wires that are just like metal. There's a full banana on the ground. I'm not sure if that was in camera. But it travels through wires into your house and then somehow makes everything work, which is insane. But then there's like, you know, electricity that just happens, like static electricity. Why does you just rub it on something and it just like, and then like, if you just like rub a balloon on your head, your hair just sticks to it. Literally, like almost every morning when I put on my hoodie, it like static electricities my hair directly to my face. Why does that happen? Seriously. You know, I don't really have much more to talk about. We'll figure it out. Accents. I feel like I've covered this, actually. I feel like I have. Maybe I haven't, but it's just like people start talking a certain way. Oh, no, I think I was talking about with languages. But, like, why are there differences in the way people talk that are, like... And it's not like it's just like, you say one word differently, or, like, you have a speech impediment or something. It's like you can you don't purposely. You subconsciously speak in a different way, and every word is pronounced different. But like, if you think about it, you know, you can like do another accent. You can do impressions or whatever. I gotta unlock my door. Which is strange, because why don't we just, I don't know, streamline it? Where are my keys? Found them. If I talked about keys are, it's like, I know the way a lock works, I think. It's like a bunch of little pins in there, and they get pushed up specifically by the key until it can turn. But I don't have anywhere to go with that one. Huh. I'm not quite sure what else to talk about. Food. This is different. What? Why is it like this? Why is Andrew... Okay. This is a lot closer. This is so much closer. Why is it... There we go. Yeah, that's about right. What was I talking about? I think I was talking about food. I don't really want to talk about food. Podcasting is hard. I've only been uploading recently, like every 2 weeks, because it's hard to think of things. It really is. And I don't want to talk about boring things. Time. Because time is like... it's a construct. We completely made that up on our own. There's no like real measure of time. It just kind of goes. And the way we did it is pretty horrible, the way we constructed it, because, milliseconds, there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second, which, like, why do we use the metric system? But it's specifically for seconds, because then it goes to minutes, which is 60, and it's, oh, okay, because it goes to 60 minutes in an hour, and, you're seeing a trend here, and then there's 24 hours in a day, which, why? And then 7 days in a week, with a month, it's just however much we feel like. Sometimes it's 30, sometimes it's 31. Then there's 1 month where it's 28, except for every 4 years where it's 29, because we've got like leap year and whatnot. Because the hours don't add up right, which I feel like is something that we could, like, I feel like, because it's like the hours don't align correctly to the day, and that's why we also need to have like leap year and stuff, which I feel like we could just redo the system, and if we like get it more precise, then we can have no daylight savings, no leap years if we just kind of rearrange it. If we add an extra month to the calendar, every day can be every month can be 28 days, and then you have like one extra day that's just a day. It's just like a single month with 1 day in it, but whatever. And then you can just kind of figure it out from there. Also, the month system is horrible because they just kind of added 2 extra months in, I think. I think they added... It was all, like, lined up. Because if you look at, like, an octopus, it has 8 legs, octo. October, you'd think it would be the 8th month. 8th. That's right. I don't know why that sounded wrong. But then it's the 10th because we just kind of added 2 in the middle for no reason. And December is Deca, which is 10. It's all lined up to make sense. But no, we just kind of randomly added 2 in so we could, fit to a new calendar system. What kind of calendar is it Gregorian or is that a different one? I don't know, but it's a horrible system. Have I talked about units of measurement? I'm really bad at heights. I can't do that right. I don't know how tall people are. I don't know how far things are. I can't get measurements. I'm not good with that. I don't know. You asked me how big a foot is. I don't know. I got 2 down there. I got 2 right on my legs. Let's see if we can't... I don't think I have anything. I'm trying to think of things, but I feel like I've already talked about all of them. Art. I feel like I don't think I have. Why? I guess originally it was like to convey information, but we have writing. We can describe things. We don't need to spend hours painting out one thing And eventually it got to the point where it's just pretty. That's the only reason why. And for some reason, we just decide that this one thing is worth like $3 million. And it can just be like modern art. It's some bullshit. They just, throw a bunch of, it can just be a blank canvas. And depending on, basically, entirely, it just kind of depends on who you are. If you're like already a famous artist, whatever, then you can charge like $3 million for a blank canvas and it'll sell somehow. And it's like, you can just go to the store. You can go to an art store and get one of those and just do, like, with like actual paintings, it kind of makes sense because, it's hard to paint. When someone just makes something that's just like, oh, it's a big red square, you can do that yourself for like such a small, like, comparison amount, fraction of the price, which, like, why do you need to spend the 10 million on whatever? It's just like, I've talked about designer brands on here, right? Branding, how it's just, I feel like I'm restating things. What else do I have to talk about? Voices. It's like, no, I don't have anything about that really. It's hard to think of things for the podcast. This is a hard thing. Factories. No, I don't have. I'm running dry on things. Hold on, give me a second. I've definitely talked about, yeah. I'm seriously running dry. Liquid. Nope, nothing in there. My job is the hardest job in the world. Oil rig has nothing on podcasting. Air conditioning. Realistically, it may be unpleasant. We can totally survive in hot weather. Well, to some degree. If it's like 80, you can totally. You just need to, drink a little bit more water or whatever. But really what it is, because it's kind of horrible, because my school, they don't know what they're doing with it. It was sunny out. It was like, I feel like it was almost hot outside. It was warm. And yet you get into the school, it's warmer than it is outside. There's someone out there controlling the heat of the rooms, at least somewhat, with like the heaters, because it feels like the heaters were on. And I know that they have cooling of some sort. They should have had it on, like, even if it's just a little bit, you can turn the cooling on. Seriously, it was so unnecessary for it to be that hot. And it's like, some people are like seriously insane and they keep their house at like 60 degrees, freezing. And then there's other people who need to have it at like 75 at like insanely hot temperatures, because it's all up to the person. There's some people out there who like cold-blooded and need to be constantly in like the heat. And there's some living the place where you live, because realistically, we have areas that are nice that we can just, develop a ton, and then we can keep the other places like Texas, Arizona. We can keep those as like the nature areas. We can keep those as the places where we have trees and whatnot, because you don't need to live there. If you live in Texas or Arizona, you're just subjecting yourself to torture, okay? Death Valley, no one lives there for a reason, because it's a national park, but also because you can't. It's like 100 degrees there on the regular, and it's Arizona's like, what? A step down, it's like, oh, it's only 90. Cold day out today, it's only 85. That's the average person in Arizona. That's how they think. It's insane. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, way back in the day, when you're you could only transport on foot, and you had to stay with your tribes, whatever, your clan. It was, you kind of had to live in the one place because that's where all your people are. That's where all the food and the water is. Now we have water almost everywhere. That's still an issue, actually. I don't know why that's an issue, because seriously, why do we need... Capitalism is like one of the biggest problems of our society, because it leaves these rich billionaires who absolutely 100% have the ability to supply people with clean water and food who are starving, and they just have billions of dollars that they just keep to themselves. And what they spend on freaking companies. They go, oh, I want to build a rocket ship. Instead of like, I don't know, we can tax them more, but no, they just kind of come up with loopholes. Like, billionaires are the people who they figured out how to pay the least taxes. Why? You have plenty of money to spare, okay? You could take half of your wealth and you'd have more than enough for you and like your great-great-grandchildren for the like almost the rest of time to just work with that. But no, you need to keep it for yourself to build a mega mansion and with a yacht. Where was I? But yeah, like, we should be able to get people out of the areas where it's horrible to live in. And just keep those as like, why don't we just like ultra develop the places that are like actually nice? Like, I don't know. I don't really know that many nice places, actually. I think everywhere is kind of horrible to someone. Maybe I guess that's what it is. It's just kind of preference. We're pushing about like 25 minutes right now. I think there's a couple more things we can get out. Where was we? Capitalism, government. I've talked about government, haven't I? Why do we need that? Well, I guess so it's people don't steal and... no, government's definitely necessary. I don't think I have much more to talk about. End the video. Watch this. Cool ending title screen.